Good morning everybody. Today we're talking about prime factors. So first of all, what is a prime number? Prime numbers are numbers which are only divisible by 1 and themselves. 19 is a prime number because it can be only divided by 1 and 19. Therefore, the prime factors of 19 are 1 and 19 because 1 times 19 is 19. If you tried to find the prime factors of a prime number, you would only get 1 and 19. A number square with the prime numbers to 100 is on the next page. And there they are. Now, I have put these at the top of the description to this lesson, so you always have them on the lesson screen. I've put your questions a little bit below that, and I've done it in a slightly different way, so you don't have a worksheet today. Instead, you've just got a text thing where you can write in what the prime numbers are, and hopefully you should be able to see all the questions as you write on the text thing, because the questions are all in the description. So these are the prime numbers: 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, etc. You can only divide these by 1 and themselves. So what is a prime factor? Prime factors of 6 are 2 and 3. 2 and 3 because 2 and 3 are themselves prime numbers. 2 times 3 is 6. So if I had to say what the prime factors of 6 were, I would say 2 times 3. Here we've got 12 underneath. We've got 2 times 2 times 3. 2 times 2 times 3 is 12. I'm not going to go into index notation because I could say 2 to the power 2 times 3 equals 12, but I'm not going to. That's just confusing. So I'm just going to say 20, 2 times 2 times 5. 2 and 2 and 5 are prime numbers. 100, 2 times 2 times 5 times 5. Think about it, work it out. If you did 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 5 is 20, times 5 again would be 100. So this is basically a list of prime numbers you can times together to get the number. That's what we mean by prime factors. Notice this is a completely different thing to factors. Do you remember where you started with one number at one side of the page and the other number at the other side of the page, and I had you work into the middle? This is a completely different thing. Even though they both have the name factors, and technically prime factors are factors as well, this is a different thing to finding factors of a number. Now, if you don't know what the prime factors of a number are, how do you find it out? Well, you have to use something called a factor tree. This is a factor tree, and this is what I'm asking you to do for each number this lesson. Start with the number at the top. So my number here is 48. And then I want you to think, what can I times together to get 48? If you're really stuck on this, try dividing it by 2 if it's an even number. Try dividing it by 3 next, and try your easier times tables first. Try 10, try 5. Yeah? What we've got here, 48, 8 times 6 is 48. So I've split 48 there into 8 and 6. Now neither 8 nor 6 are prime numbers, so they both need to be split further. Here I've got 8, which is 4 times 2, and 6, I've got 3 times 2, 4. So whatever numbers you can find that times together to make that number, you can split up until you end with a prime. Don't split the primes up further. So now we're left with 8 is split into 4 and 2, 6 is split into 3 and 2. We've got 2 and 3 and 2, which are all prime. So I stop there because I've got to the prime factors. I wouldn't say look at the 2 and go, well, 1 times 2 is 2. No, it's prime already, so we'd only get a load of 1s. We don't go into 1s. You'll never find that the answers for this will involve any 1s. So if your answers have 1s in them, you've got them wrong. Okay, so 2 and 3 and 2 are prime numbers, but 4 can be split up further. And here, 4 can be split into 2 and 2. So it's perfectly fine for me to say that the prime factors of 48 are 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. I can write that in index notation, but I'm not going to ask you to. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 equals 48 is what I'd want your answer to be. Now with my last one, I split 48 up into 6 and 8. It doesn't matter if you want to use another number, you will still get the same answer. However you split it up, as long as your multiplication is right, it will eventually lead you to the same answer in factors. So if, for instance, with 48, you wanted to use 24 and 2, that would still work. Then I'd break down my 24. 24, 2 times 12, that'll give me with a 2 and a 12, and then I'd split my 12 up, maybe into 6 and 2, and then I'd split my 6 up. It would still lead to the same answer for prime factors. Here's another example. So I'm using the number 16, and I'm thinking, what do I times together to get 16? 2 and 8. Now 2 is a prime number, so I'm splitting the 8 up into 2 and 4, and then I'm splitting the 4 up into 2 times 2. So 16, prime factors of 16 are 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 equals 16. Today I've given you some lists of numbers. Now the first list that you see on the left, those are the easy numbers that I want everybody to have a good go at and see how many you can make into prime factors. You can tell me lists of prime factors for each one. Remember, you will need to do a factor tree for each of these, which means you'll need lots of paper because they take quite a lot of space on your page. Do space them out. Do make sure that you think about your prime numbers, which, as I've said, are in the instructions section on your page, so that you've always got them as you're doing this lesson. Now I only need you to send me back, using the text thing, lists of the actual prime factors themselves. I don't really need to see the factor trees. If you want to take some pictures of the factor trees and send me some of your working out, you can do, but really if I've got them, there's no way of doing this on a calculator, so if I've got the answers, I know that you've done it. I know that you've done the maths. Okay? If you can do the first ones, challenge yourself. If you've still got time in the lesson, challenge yourself and do the slightly harder list, or you can do the larger list and see how hard you can go and see how much you can challenge yourself to find out all about prime factors. Okay, good luck. Once again, if you do have any questions, please get your parents to send me a message on the Dojo Messenger. Good luck.